Hello, people. So, yeah, I tried to make this freaking hour ago or something. I had to take a break after I discovered that the audio source that was selected, for some reason, whether it was my fault or whatever, fucking stupid, software shit. It was the stupid little camera I have, the cheapest little camera you can buy. So, anyways, that's problems fixed. My headset that I was wearing the whole time I was making the, the other video. Now this headset that's on my head is gonna be recording the audio properly, so it's all steady spaghetti, I like to say. But anyways, some people hate that so much. It's so funny. They just have no whimsy, no childlike whimsy. Oh, come on, all setty spaghetti. That's just good fun. Stop being such a spaz. Stop being such a freaking stick in the mud. All right. So, anyways, I don't want to treat this like it's some some labored um, reenactment of what I recorded earlier, but just want to kind of get back into it as if I haven't related to the world because I haven't yet, and this video is going to be that. The old video doesn't exist, so it's not been relayed yet. So it's not going to be the same, but that's okay. It's going to be a new delving into of reality. So yeah, basically I was inspired to make a recording mostly talking about how our place here in this world is really dictated by our values, okay? And how we go through the life thinking about the world like the world will eat you up and spit you out, blah blah blah. But it's, I think, vitally important to have a healthy, positive view of the world, because as much as we depend on the world, literally, physically, for nourishment and survival, the world depends on us, right? So the world is gonna be a better place if we love it and we take care of it. And therefore, by doing that, it will be, to the best of our ability, a good place for our kids and the future generations. And it's really, it seems like such an obvious thing, but people get wrapped up in their lives, okay, in their tragedy of their lives. They're in the throes of it. They're in the thick of it. The world is eating them, right? That's where that saying kind of comes from. They're suffering a kind of a hell, a misery, a despair. It's hideous. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to live that, right? We all just want to get through our own shit and get to the end of it. Well, not all of us. There's people like me. When I see stuff like that, it hurts me too. I imagine what it's like to be them. I've experienced my own despair and hopelessness and everything. And it's people who have experienced that, who have touched that, the very depths of hell, so to speak, that are able to, who have made it out of that, towards the light of oneness and wholeness of self and balance. We can look at other people that are lower down the ladder and we can help them. We can help guide them a little bit. It may be hard, maybe ugly, but there's things to do to help people. Is if you just have the heart to do it, the gumption to look at that person and feel the humanity between you and that person, because it's there. It's there, and it's your time to prove that you care. And I'm not gonna lie, there's gonna be times, I'm sure, where it's gonna be a test on you too. As much as it's a test on them to get out of something, things don't always work out. Some people are actually malicious and they want to they want to hurt you, and that's a sad truth, but it's something that happens. People seek it out. Cruelty. They want to inflict cruelty on others. It really all boils down to what they value and what they know. So what they value depends on what they know. If they in their head only know that, you know, my life is shit and this person seems to be smiling and their character is just so poorly developed and they don't have a good moral role model in their life, they're gonna try and put that person down. They might. It's not guaranteed. You know, there's some people who are born with an incredible heart, an incredible character. It really is true. And that's okay. That's great. Good for them. Good for people like that, I say. Because, you know, we all benefit from that. We all do. If you're born with something like that, then it's a blessing to your whole family, your whole community. That's great. Doesn't mean you're set, you know, you're just gonna definitely be perfect. That's not how life works. That's not how that should work. It takes real attention and effort to be excellent, I say. You can be born great, but you can, you know, let the path to excellence miss you. You can miss it. But that's the thing, it's never truly missed because it's all up to you. You have so much more power than you realize. There's so much more to what your life will become than what it is now. You have the power through the power of your thoughts, especially your will. And I'll tell you how to maximize that would be to enter into a meditative space mentally and everything. What you're doing is you're giving yourself the space to observe yourself and what you would normally be doing and thinking and feeling and reacting with. You're having a third person's perspective basically if you do it right to just be chill and you're mentally asserting your will to do this. You're going to observe your ego. I want you to go into it thinking of that. Observe your ego and critique it, analyze it, whatever. Just observe it. Your mind does all the critique and analyzing on its own. You don't have to force that to happen. Whatever you observe is going to be analyzed. That's how your brain works. You don't have to try. That's actually really fascinating. And that's kind of a lesson for me, too. It's so funny. It really makes me want to roll around laughing. How people just they go through life and they're just trying to force their brain to work. It just it just works, bro. Bro, it just works, bro. Just observe things. And see that's the funny part, but the real part, the kind of tragic part is that that's all based on how you feel. So if you feel afraid, your mind is going to be working like a puckered butthole where it's too afraid to let in anything or let out anything, right? So basically, when you're afraid, what you see is what you get. So you're afraid, you're going to be looking at the world, and it's just going to be the first thing that pops into your psyche, the first thing that whispers in your little ear, like, be afraid of this. That's what your whole world's going to be. So unfortunately, there's so many factors that go into causing people to feel fearful, anger, whatever. So what you have is you have literally um, people who can't really just let their brain work. They're just I mean they can and they are technically, but they feel as though they have to force themselves to do this or do that or be there, be this. and their mind is just so arrested by the future, the past, and all the bullshit. When in all reality, all you have to do is just let your brain be. Stop forcing things. More or less, just be comfortable within yourself. That's easier said than done. Trauma can do crazy things to a person, so you simply need to allow yourself to process these things. And there's definitely methods people have come up with. I'm sure you can find stuff, but yeah, where there's a will, there's a way, and that's one of the truest things ever. And um, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. That's true as hell. I mean, if you're alive at the end of it, you're stronger in some way, aren't you? I mean, you may not have preferred it to go that way, but now you're a bit stronger. How funny is that? This reality is so insane. There's so many complexities. This is something I talked about in the other video that I won't release. I deleted it because the audio was so terrible. You could kind of hear me, but anyways, what I wanted to say was um crap, I just got lost in thought a little bit there. Yeah, reality. Okay, the complexities of reality are so exponential and deep, right? I like getting deep into things, deep in thought, whatever. But if you go deeply enough into any one thing, you'll come to a point where you'll see the thread that connects everything. You'll see the whole thing in the small thing. That's something that's been observed and it's been talked about many other times. I'm not the first person. I'm just reiterating this, but it's a beautiful thing. The Mandelbrot design, I think it's called. So that's the idea I'm talking about here. And so mentally, when you're thinking about stuff, you just have to realize how incomprehensible everything is in totality and trickling down to where you are as a human being on this planet in this circumstance as this individual. I mean, it's so uniquely fascinating. I mean, if you could really observe it all and deduce information from every aspect of your life, I mean, just how incredible would that be, for one? And number two, if you ever feel like you don't value yourself enough or you don't see the value, in yourself. You ever get to that point mentally, you're despairing, okay, you feel depressed and whatever. I want you to try to imagine somebody that's able to see all that incomprehensible stuff, okay, that makes you who you are, that got you to where you are in that moment. And I want you to imagine that that person cares about you and loves you and can see it all and they have good reason to love you, okay? Because why the hell wouldn't they? All right? Think about it like that. And then, that's kind of like what God would see. That's kind of like what God would think of you. If I could dare to touch that idea, but um I like that. And you know what? I can say if I had that incomprehensible sight of you, there's no way that I wouldn't love you. And that's something that I'll stand by. Doesn't mean that I would do everything for you that you wanted, like, please, like, I'm not your daddy, okay? I'm just saying that I would love you. And in fact, in those scenarios where you would be like a whiny baby, I would respond accordingly. Personally, um, I respond accordingly to which I think is best, and because I love. Yeah, it's funny becoming an adult and kind of toying with the idea of being like a parental figure. Kind of uncomfortable for me, actually. This kind of got really uncomfortable. And see, that's the difference between me and God. It's that's pretty uncomfortable for me to imagine that I'm in that perspective and oh geez, I almost knocked this stuff around. All right, so anyways, that's pretty funny. That's the difference between me and God. I like that. That's a good one. I couldn't handle it. Hey, I couldn't handle it. I'll be the first to admit it. I wouldn't be able to. But the funny thing, we're all a part of it. You know, that's the beautiful thing actually. So in a way, we all are handling it. But anyways, I feel like this is about as good as time as any, but my mind is touching on something here. Just the to be able to conceptualize and understand all these all these concepts, I feel very lucky and I feel pretty blessed. And it would really please me more than anything else to be able to just relay information to everybody just about this kind of stuff. That's why I'm making this video. That's really where I want to be. I want to be relaying information to people like this. It's actually fascinating to think of, but I mean, I could never be in a regular teacher setting. I mean, that's just something I could force myself to do it, but I don't really want to do that. Are you kidding me? Being confined and restricted to just the bullshit demands of the status quo of standardized education. Great, yes, sign me up. No thanks. Right. Yeah, I was kind of trying to not get into myself and my life on that thread of being. I'll close my eyes here and try to think about it more. It was just the conceptualizing of information, broad information, spiritual, intuitive information. Don't laugh at me. Okay, this is serious. I have a feeling. I have a feeling here. I may or may not be on psychoactive stuff at the moment. No, I won't say what it is. I should. There's no reason not to. It's like blue lotus flower, a bunch of mushrooms like lion's mane, reishi, all that good stuff. Um, and kava. A little bit in a gummy, so it's not like I drank it. And I had a shot of Jaeger. But anyways, what was that thread, man? I'm trying to encapsulate a thought. You know how hard that is? It's so hard to encapsulate a thought. It's a lot harder than people give credit for. That's pretty cool. I can even conceptualize that and kind of encapsulate it into language. But man, you ever think about how weird language is? Jeez, man, I could talk forever. I should probably cut this off here. All right. That's the end of that. Well, thank you for listening if you did. Never forget that you are worth a lot more than you could ever comprehend. So just stick to what you can know, I guess, and just trust that anybody that could see the totality of you would love you and that you deserve that. Doesn't mean you should fucking get everything that you ever want, but it's just you're worthy of a love, of an unconditional love. Everybody is. That's the idea of God and why people why people believe in that so much and have faith and love that. I mean, it's such a beautiful thing in this harsh reality, this cold world. Okay, the world that can be so cold to us. Believing in something so beautiful and connective, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's such a shame that people have allowed this concept of atheism and everything to just boil over so much. And I mean, it's funny because it really is just born out of a narcissistic arrogance. Like, I mean, I used to be one of those people. I was, and I was shameless about it in a way. I mean, a little bit. I mean, as I got older, I became agnostic. Here we go again. I'm freaking roping myself back into it. Oh my god. All right, this is such an important thing to talk about, though. Um, yeah. Okay, the concept of God. I mean, atheism. All right, you're saying no, I don't believe that there is one. Fine, great, but really, how the hell would you ever know? And what are you losing by believing in something like that? And what so many billions of people, possibly trillions, have have actually believed in and devoted themselves to the idea of and have benefited from that idea. Obviously, there's always negatives. There's always people that abuse things and cause misery and what have you. But listen, that doesn't take away from the positives of the thing. Okay, you have to be able to isolate the things. All right. Anyways, life is beautiful. Love is beautiful. God is beautiful. The world is beautiful. You're beautiful. If you could see the totality of your life and who you are, you would be amazed with how beautiful it is. All right. Thanks for listening. I'm going to make the executive order to end this now. Thank you so much. Goodbye. Let me know if you want to hear more.